What's up, gang? Welcome to Orcs Must Die Deathtrap. Now, we are kind of getting into this, but is it a roguelike or is it not a roguelike? Well, I guess we'll preface. It's not a roguelike, it's a roguelite. It has super entry-level roguelite aspects, and that's kind of why I'm really on the edge of if I want to call it a roguelite. Now, obviously, there's a lot of roguelite aspects, and it's about as roguelite-y as Hades is, in the fact that you go through your run, you get, in this case, skulls to boost traps, unlock traps, upgrade yourself, upgrade your character, damage, stuff like that, to then be better equipped for future runs, and then get more skulls, upgrade, circle of roguelites repeats itself. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, like what really is Orcs Must Die Deathtrap, I kind of wanted to just say what I think of it as a roguelike, and honestly, give a really quick review of the game and how I think. So I come to this game because I want to play another installation of the Orcs Must Die franchise. I want to kill orcs, and I guess trolls are a part of this mix as well, and I want to use cool traps to do so because it's fun and exciting, and I think it's really cool how Orcs Must Die mixes third-person shooter with a tower defense. So that being said, Orcs Must Die Deathtrap is almost completely different than any other Orcs Must Die installation, apart from the core values that it is a tower defense third-person shooter, which I absolutely love. That aspect, not a problem with at all. It's just the way that they executed it here is a little bit interesting, which isn't bad by any means. There's just a lot of differences between the last Orcs Must Die game and this current one. So we'll get into that stuff in a second. I mean, overall, I do think it's a pretty good game. As a roguelite, though, it's kind of stretching it. I don't really know how I feel calling it a roguelite because I'm really just here to play Orcs Must Die. I'm not here to play a roguelite, and the natural progression that previous Orcs Must Die games were feels really similar to the natural progression of this game, except they're just trying to make it feel like there's a lot more progression to be happening, which is fine. There's a lot of stuff to add. Threads is an incredibly new system, and it offers a lot of customizability throughout runs and stuff like that, and through, I guess, your missions. So I think they just kind of wanted to shift the core of this game from a story-driven arc to replayability, which is completely fair. So honestly, with it being set like that, this is almost a perfect transition from what previous Orcs Must Die games were to what they want Orcs Must Die games to be, which is replayability. They want you to have multiple runs, you know, do it multiple ways, obviously with up to 4 people. Different play styles mean different traps, different characters to pick from, and then a completely unique thread system, which adds passive buffs to your character, to your traps, to your general overall feel of the game, and making each run a little bit different than the last. So with that being said, let's get nitpicky and go right into some details of what this game is and how it's different than previous. So real quick, why don't we just hit the key roguelike aspects of what you can upgrade outside of the runs or outside of the missions or outside of the acts, whatever you want to call them. Number 1 is the skill tree, which I am gunning for almost exclusively. I'm level 30 in the skill tree, and I've barely upgraded any of my traps. But the things in this skill tree include decreasing trap cost, increasing trap damage, increasing rift points, increasing personal HP gain, personal damage, trap damage, and then increasing money, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. And then there's also a super little skill tree per character that allows them to increase their ability damage, personal damage, stuff like that. It helps upgrade their abilities, basically. It's an ability upgrader. Next up, we have the actual parts of the game, which are the traps. You can unlock more traps. You can unlock new traps. We got traps that go on the ceiling. We got traps that go on the floor. We got traps that go on the walls, and that's really it, honestly. The floor traps feel really lackluster, except for the bramble. And then I love my beloved tar trap. The tar trap and the brimstone are like my 2 favorite traps in the entire game. But you can also unlock these traps and then upgrade these traps, decreasing cost, increasing damage, decreasing the time it takes for them to trigger again, increasing range or increasing effectiveness, stuff like that. Pretty little things. All right, really quick, let's talk about run structure. So at the beginning of the run, you get to choose which mission you want to do, and there's 3 stages of the mission if you're booting this up for the first time. First mission will come with 3 pretty much debuffs, things like barricades can't be sold, stable rifts will spawn, basically more enemies will spawn. And with these debuffs, similar to what we've seen in Vellum, you get 1 debuff each stage or mission, and there's 3 missions. So, but there will be 3 different maps to choose from, and each will have their own specific, debuff. The final stage of these missions will always be a boss. So 3rd stage will be a boss, and then once you beat that, there will be an extra stage. So your next run will have 4 stages. The 4th stage will be a boss, and then so on. I'm currently on 6. I don't know how high it goes. Could go up to 10, could go up to 20. It could be endless for all I know. But you do get to choose which traps you want per stage, which is super useful because if you're swapping maps, you don't want to have to kind of luckily pick whichever traps you want to use for the rest of your run at the very beginning. So if you're playing on a map that has a lot of indoor space, you want to be able to maybe utilize those rafters and that ceiling to place some ceiling traps, drop lava, drop acid, stuff like that. Drop acid from the acid traps, the acidic substance, the liquid. And then maybe the next time you're in a courtyard, which is completely open, and you want to place a lot of your barricades down, you want to place a lot of floor traps. So you can rotate your trap inventory per stage is basically what I'm trying to say. It's very useful, it's very fun, keeps the run more or less pretty entertaining as you go from stage to stage. All right, you want to know something a little bit messed up? It's not super messed up when you really think about it, but you want to talk barricades for a second. Barricades have got to be the #1 point of complaint between veteran Orcs Must Die players and this new game. Now, barricades at the very beginning of the mission, of the stage, whatever you want to call it, when you have your initial puzzle planning phase of you figuring out where enemies are coming from, where they're going, how do they get there, and how you want to adjust that, you're met with free barricades, which, that's fantastic. I don't have to spend money on barricades first round. I can place actual traps, but you have a cap on them. You have a limit to how many barricades you can place per stage, and that is a problem for some people, which ultimately, I mean, at the end of the day, they give you enough to work with from base, so you don't have to really stretch too much. But where's the customizability? I want to build a nice little, I want to pave a nice little road for them to go on, you know, maybe even a little bit of a swirl, a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of a zigzagging pattern, stuff like that. Yeah, you can't really do that too much. There are threads that give you extra barricades. There's threads that double your barricade size, like the good old upgrade of the barricade, which, you know, doubles the size. But here, if you want to actually double barricade size, you have to beat the first boss, unlock the thread, and then masterfully get the thread throughout the stage, throughout your run, which, when you have every single thread unlocked, it's like 1 out of a, like, what, 150. I want to see how many threads there are. Okay, I'm not counting. You can't look it up. It's not on Google anywhere. But there's a lot. There's hundreds of threads to unlock. So it's just a small chance that you'd get that double-sized barricade one. But anyway, if you really, really want to be able to place more barricades, there is something called a Rift Barricade. It's a floor trap, costs 4,000 credits. So if you want to sack 4,000 credits, you can certainly set up an extra barricade or two. But it's honestly not too bad. It allows me to place more traps, which I definitely like. And then it forces you to kind of flex that puzzle brain of yours, which is definitely not existent up here. I'm terrible at puzzle games, or I have to sit there for like 10 minutes before I even start wave 1 trying to figure out where I'm going to place all my barricades. So I guess since we were just talking about threads, let's hit up on what threads actually are. Threads are the in-game passives of the run, unlockable via missions, or you can just straight up buy them in the shop, and there are a lot of them. As I was saying, there are way too many to count. There's character specifics, trap specifics, and then general buffs like to damage and health and rift point regeneration, stuff like that. There's threads that do a one-time action, threads that are just passive throughout the entire run, and then threads that ramp up. And then you can re-roll the thread options for 1,000 credits, or you can skip it entirely for 5,000 credits and it gives you an extra barricade, which at that point it's cheaper to just go with a rift barricade, so I don't know if really that's play. I do like the thread system. It's kind of cool, it's kind of new, I do like it, but I wish there was either more or maybe a chance to pick between more. Because if you have a pool of like 250 plus threads and then you only get to pick 3 per stage, or 3 at any one given time, it's like, you know, I'm never exactly going to get what I want. So I'm not really pulled towards buying threads. I'm kind of just going to unlock them, and then once I'm done upgrading everything else with my skulls, I'm just going to go back to the thread shop and then just buy them because I can. But in my lifetime, there is no way I'm going to play with each and every single one of these threads unless I put in like 250 hours, which, let's be real, Orcs Must Die Deathtrap is not my day job, so I'm probably not going to be doing that. And that's honestly really all I have to say about threads. So that's really going to do it. I don't know if this was the exact extensive overview of Orcs Must Die as a roguelike that I wanted to do, but I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. I will be playing more of this game definitely, so if you do want to see it, please let me know. But as per usual, I will see you tomorrow morning on Wednesday, and then next Monday if I don't stream again, which I haven't streamed in a while, so I don't know. You can join my Discord and see when I pop in on other people's streams. I usually stream with my boy Chaotic on some League of Legends Monday nights, and then the boys and I have been playing some special little things here and there. But I hear Next Fest is currently live because it's Monday right now, so it's currently live until, I don't know, maybe the week, maybe 2 weeks. It's usually a week these days. So if there's anything you're interested in me reviewing or doing anything from Next Fest, please let me know. I do want to do the rounds on my usual Monday night strolls through the Steam catalog of what's live for Next Fest, and download a bunch of stuff that I'll ultimately play like 4 of. So I'll see you then. Maybe the Overstock channel will be popping with some Next Fest videos in a couple of months as I'm trying to catch up with the stuff that's over there right now. But please do check out Overstock. I absolutely love that channel, and it is so amazing posting stuff over there, and I really do think it's really fun and really enjoyable, especially if you're into more funny moments type stuff. So I will see you guys next time. I'll stop talking about everything that's going on right now, and you have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you next time.